Welcome to Whose Turn Is It Anyway, your board gaming podcast where we bring you some exciting guest episodes in our latest expansion pack, and this is one of those. We're very excited. We're joined by Chip Theory Games with Josh Weilgus and Andrew Santoro. Let's waste no time and get over and meet the guys. Welcome to one of our expansion pack episodes of the Whose Turn Is It Anyway podcast. And I'm joined by Josh Weilgus.
Hello.
And Andrew Santoro.
That's me.
From none other than Chip Theory Games. I'm so excited. Our listeners and all the podcast crew that we've got will know that secretly I'm trying to hold it in together and not kind of fanboy too much because we've got you on the show. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us. This is a real treat for me. I can't wait to just dive into more Chip Theory goodness. But yeah, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's our pleasure to be here. No fanboying required.
No, fair enough. But
yeah, just a little bit from me.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So Andrew, we talked about Andrew, I think on a UK Games Expo episode, because basically Andrew looked after us very well, and we've got to play many games, and I think we had a good game of Fight 5, and I think also Neon Rain, we had a little game and a bit of Wroth, and it's all great fun. So thank you for looking after us so well, and we really appreciate that. So firstly, my first question for all guests that we have is basically, how did you get into the hobby of tabletop gaming? Was it through the joys of Chip Theory Games, or were you all tabletop gamers beforehand? I mean, Josh, let's go for you first.
Sure. Yeah, my answer is probably going to be long-winded a little bit, but
go for it.
Yeah, Andrew's laughing because I tend to be long-winded, but yep. I didn't grow up I loved board games when I was little, like playing things like Sorry and Trouble with my parents and that kind of thing. But in terms of like the hobby gaming stuff, I didn't really get into that until much later in life. And my whole story with not just tabletop games, but even with Chip Theory kind of all ties back to Josh Carlson, our owner, who married my sister-in-law.
Yeah.
So Josh and I are married to sisters. And he was joining the family, and I got word that my mother-in-law was like, yeah, Josh Carlson, like, he's a game maker, he makes games. And I was like, I kind of know a lot about nerd culture, like what games does he make? Yeah. And so she was like, she couldn't pronounce it, it was Hoplomachus. But I looked up, like, and they've been doing Kickstarters, back in those days. And I looked them up and it was like, oh, cute. They raised $15,000. That's really neat. And then they were running Josh was running the campaign for Hoplomachus Origins. Josh and Adam were in the early days of Chip Theory. And I was like, well, he's going to be my brother-in-law. They're engaged. I should be a good nerd support and back their cute little campaign. And and it was like $350, which for me at the time was a truckload of money. Being young, married, and like not.
I remember those days.
Yeah. And so that was kind of like, that was my start with Chip Theory. And then, Josh and Serena ended up getting married, and they're going to have their first baby, and they needed somebody to fill in at Gen Con. And I was like, I like nerdy stuff. I'm kind of interested in board games. Like, I'll go and help out in your booth. And that was really like what opened my eyes to like how expansive and how much the tabletop industry was growing. And so this was, this would have been, I think, 9 years ago at this point that this was all happening. So that was really how I got into not just like starting to work for Chip Theory in any way, shape, or form professionally, but also really kind of my start into a deeper interest in board games beyond my video game interests. So yeah.
Nice answer, Andrew. Beat that.
I mean, I started with Magic. Like, it's a lame answer of Magic the Gathering, not Magic Tricks.
Like a box of 20 magic tricks. Yeah.
Lots of games when I was a kid of just like, like Pokemon game and, various Monopolies and stuff. But then I started playing Magic, and then at some point living with people in college, I started picking up other stuff like Battlestar Galactica. But not really picking up that many board games until I started working at Chip Theory. And then when I started going to conventions, I started buying a lot of games and started playing a lot more games.
And then the cycle
company really gave me that addiction.
You mentioned Gloomhaven in your interview, because I was the one that did Andrew's interview, and I was like, okay, he knows Gloomhaven. He can hang with anything that's...
I had played Gloomhaven once at that point, and now I've been here for 3.5 years, and I've played Gloomhaven twice.
Wow. I mean, that's the standard Gloomhaven campaign.
It takes so much setup time.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
I had 2 Gloomhaven campaigns on at one time, once, and it burnt me out. I just couldn't do it anymore. It's like, I used to get to the night, it's like, oh, it's Gloomhaven tonight. Yay. I'm not going to set this thing up again. But we had a blast with it. It's a solid game. I've definitely moved on to different things since then. But yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot of it. Yeah. There's just a lot of it. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So this is always a hard question to answer. So I'll let you throw a few in. But like, what are your favorite kind of hobby games that you like to play? Like that hits your table regularly. What do you?
Man, for me personally, it feels very much like whatever. I feel like I'm a little bit in the cult of the new. Working in this industry, we get games traded to us a lot of conventions. I get games handed to me for free sometimes.
Yeah.
And there's always, I'm, as the marketing guy primarily here at Chip Theory, I'm also always just hyper aware of what the rest of the industry is doing, so that I can help guide Chip Theory through the rest of the noise of the industry. So that said, my favorite game of all time, which I have played maybe like a total of 5 to 10 times ever, is Android Netrunner, the living card game from Fantasy Flight that rest in peace. But I didn't have enough friends that were into it to really ever give it staying power in my own collection, or to be able to play it very often. Recently, I learned Power Grid, which is not a new hotness game, and that is presently occupying a large amount of my brain space in terms of what I'm interested in hobby-wise. So that's Everdell is probably the game I've played the most of over the last 5 or 6 years. It's not necessarily my favorite, but it's palatable to everybody, and I do really enjoy it. So I don't know. I don't feel like I play anything for very long, which I think is a bummer, because there's a lot of great games out there that I would really love to deeply invest in, and I just don't necessarily have time in my current stage of life.
No, I'm kind of with you there. I'm definitely caught the noob myself. What about you, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little impossible not to be with, I don't know, what we all do. I'll sound like a company shill, but Elder Scrolls is very good, and it's a game I enjoy playing a lot.
I've not heard about that.
I like making stuff for it, which is cool. But yeah, Elder Scrolls is very good. That's also one of those cult of the new ones. That game's gonna, who knows how much of that there's gonna be. Geez.
Wait, you know, you guys know, you have a plan, I'm sure. But we'll get to that.
Really liked Arcs. Arcs is really neat, and I think that one will have staying power.
Have you done the campaign for Arcs? Have you done the Blighted Reach campaign?
I have not actually even played it with asymmetric leaders.
What? Not yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because every time I played it was with a new group of people.
And you don't want to throw that in. And
I don't want to be like, here's this extra thing, guys. Think about this. When I just want them to enjoy the game.
Yeah, that game has teeth, doesn't it? That game has teeth. I like it for that. But no, if you do get the chance, do invest some time on that little free game campaign for Arcs, because it's a wild ride. It's a wild ride.
I bought that game a year ago, and I just punched it the other night.
Yeah.
And I got halfway through punching the Blighted Reach campaign before realizing that there were very specific instructions on what you were supposed to do while you're punching it. And so now I'm going to need to dedicate another night of my life to go back and correct
I did the
my
same.
incorrect punching.
Yeah, because
So,
you get excited, right? You get a game, you punch it out and go, wow, this is great. And then you go, okay, well, all these tokens, I don't know what they do. And then you're like, oh, crap, they've got numbers on the punch board. Where were they?
Precisely. Precisely.
Yeah, it's all good.
But yeah, Magic probably all time for me.
Yeah.
It's just
the game that got you in.
It's really lame answer.
It's not lame.
You know,
yeah, it's valid.
It's a system that stood the test of time. So.
Yeah, it's a valid answer. No, that's cool. That's cool. It's just good to get a sense of what games you guys enjoy, you know. Elder Scrolls is a valid answer. It's a fantastic game. And, you know, I don't know how many copies we got. I think we got a couple of copies in the group. Rob, who backed it, he's one of the backers, and Curly, who I think picked up a copy at UK Games Expo. He was telling himself he wasn't going to get it, and he got it. So, and he played it. I think he played it at Rob's house the other night, and it's like, yeah, I've got to get this. So off he went. So you definitely sold a copy there to him. But no, it's fantastic. So I want to know a little bit more about CTG. I want to know about how you guys started. So you obviously, Josh, you mentioned Hoplo. We've obviously had Adam and Josh, and yeah, like bring me back to the beginning. What was it like? How did it all get to be?
Well, yeah. So again, I mean, company was started by Josh and Adam Carlson. They were, I mean, still are cousins. Who they were and still are cousins.
Still go strong.
Yeah. You know, and it was really, I think it was actually more Kickstarter. You know, was in its infancy about, you know, whatever, 10, 12 years ago. The board game industry had not really blown up. They were big fans of several different video games. And they would also, in their spare time, just for fun, they would come up with like interesting house rules to make some board games that they determined to not be quite up to snuff more interesting. I think one of the ones that they came up with a lot of house rules for was like the old Pokemon board game from like way back.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Like in the I don't even know, mid like early 2000s. I'm not even sure.
It's one of my first
games.
So,
yeah, and you know, Josh Carlson is a ridiculously entrepreneurial person and has a ridiculously like entrepreneurial spirit. And so he was like, this thing Kickstarter was kind of like starting to be a thing, and he was like, we should come up with our own cool game, and we should just fund it on Kickstarter, and then we could make it. And it was always meant to just be like kind of a, you know, again, a loose hobby, something that they kind of moonlighted with and experimented with. And then Ricky Royal, Box with Delights, so who is not super active in making content anymore, but one of the earliest board game, you know, vloggers and content creators, picked up Hoplo and named it his #1 solo game of all time. So it's funny, you know, everybody assumes now in today's day and age that like Chip Theory was started with this like strong ethos about solo gaming, and that it was like this company that was all about premium components. And all of that stuff really happened very organically. It wasn't what the company was started to do, but Ricky picked up on the solo aspect of things, which suddenly put us on the map for solo gamers, which we wasn't even really like a subset of the community that we were hyper aware of at the time. I'm also saying I wasn't a part of the company at the time, but we
as CTG.
Yeah. And so, and then like right on the back of that, they were launching the Too Many Bones campaign. It was like shortly after Ricky had kind of picked up Hoplo and put that on the map to an extent. Not that it ever went mainstream, but then they launched the Too Many Bones campaign, and for a number of reasons, which I don't necessarily need to go into, the Too Many Bones campaign blew up. And blowing up in those days meant $225,000, I think, something like that. Which was a big deal in those days, especially for a $100 game, which was, you know, $100 games are very commonplace now. In those days, they were fairly uncommon. So, and then Too Many Bones released and was a huge hit, again, kind of against all odds, because it's a very scrappy game, very, very scrappy game in every capacity. And if you ever owned a first edition version of it, it was even scrappier.
Cool.
I think it released actually with a whole bunch of issues, because it was a massively complicated, very involved game that was developed largely by two people. But for whatever reason, they really like captured lightning in a bottle with tons and tons of people. And then from there, it's just kind of, snowballed. And from there, it's become like become very, very well known for our components. And then we've also become like that much more ingrained in the solo community, to the extent that we're actually trying to like get out of that box a little bit now, where we're like, man, we have a lot of cool like PvP ideas that we'd really love to explore, but we're so like locked in with the solo community that's even a hard box to break out of at times. But the story of Chip Theory is really just one of excited entrepreneurs who, captured lightning in a bottle with a really great game design, and then have, we've just leaned into everything that's made us successful from there. We've leaned into it really hard. So we've leaned into the components, we've leaned into the solo mode, we've leaned into crowdfunding, I think in a way that a lot of companies, where other companies may resent crowdfunding, we have tried to lean into it and really use it to its greatest, for its greatest good.
Yeah.
And view it as a privilege to work on crowdfunding as opposed to something that we're just forced to do from the way the industry works these days kind of thing. And I mean, it's been a crazy ride. I look around every time, we were just at Gen Con, when we go to Essen, that kind of thing. I look around at our booth and sometimes I'm just like, man, how did we get here? How on earth did we get here? This was not the plan. Like this was never really the plan. Like it just kind of happened. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? It's I think you're right. I think your kind of presence on crowdfunding, it's definitely over the years has been very different. You've been very open. It's like, look, these are the games. This is the price. This will be the cheapest that you can ever buy it. And you're right. It's like, this is it. And it's just, it's there. If you want it, it's there. If not, it'll be on the web store. But it's like, it's all good. And yeah, it's like what you see is what you get, kind of thing. And I think that's quite a good philosophy in that respect. But yeah, I always enjoy your campaigns. There's always a lot of buzz, even if it's certain games that maybe I'm not backing, but I'll always check them out. I'm always like, because it's just the way you do it. It's just like, it's an event. It's like, oh, here we go again. There's something else going on. And I love it. Yeah, it's good fun.
It's funny. I mean, we laugh a lot because we make a lot of decisions here that like are, would be viewed by a normal corporation or a normal company as like objectively bad business decisions. It's like we've jacked the price of our products through the roof. Our games cost a fortune to produce too. We don't, it's not all profit that we're taking. It's like these things are expensive to make. But I think by just staying exactly true to who we are, we've had a number of just like we've had a lot of small growth over a long period of time, as opposed to trying to like just put our, go all in on some like mega hit that goes really mainstream. We've just stayed true to who we were. And so our community has grown slowly, but now we have this like legion of hyper dedicated people who just absolutely adore almost everything that we do. And that's, that we don't take that for granted, because that's everything. That's what makes us successful. Yeah,
you're very good at that brand advocates. I'm one, like, I will check out every game that Chip Theory do. I will. It's going to happen because, you can see there's Hoplo behind me on the shelf. Here's the Trove chest. There's Cloudspire somewhere in there as well. It's just, I will check them out. Like, you're one of the few kind of publishers that I'll go, yep, check what's coming out. This is cool. And that's a really cool place to be, I think, as a publisher, to kind of have that legion of kind of followers who want to check out your games and go, oh, what's this is new, this is different, and yeah, give it a go. So it's all good.
I mean, I would say too, like, as an employee versus as a person who is high up in there, the executive guy, is companies run by Josh. People who are very, very much into the company that they run, and very much into making a quality game, quality product, and having the people on hand to make that happen. Like, I think we are one of the biggest companies as far as like full-time employees versus like contract employees, just because I think that's a philosophy that maybe both Joshes, I know Josh Carlson for sure, really wants to keep on hand the people who are good at the thing that they do.
Yeah.
Well, we value, we value being able to pivot in a hurry and do and that gets harder and harder now that we've got language editions and now that we're working with the license and so on and so forth. But we value that kind of Wild West philosophy of like, hey, I had a great idea in the shower this morning. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Like we just decide like, hey, we're gonna do it. The automaton of shale pop up.
I was gonna say the pop up book. Yeah, whose idea was the pop up book?
Man, I mean, it was kind of I'm afraid of taking credit for something I didn't think about, and I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't remember like where it. But the idea was that like for April Fools, we would do like the craziest book ever. That was like kind of like the starting point. And then somebody shouted, "What if we did a pop-up book? That would be so fun." And then I think it was Josh Carlson who was like, "Well, we could do that. What if we made it a playable pop-up book?" And I mean, genuinely, we were, we came up with that idea. We were taking pre-orders for it like a month later. That's not an exaggeration. And we didn't know how to make a pop-up book like at the time. You know what I mean? Like you have to hire a paper engineer. This is a real thing. Like you have to find a paper engineer. And so we're like online Googling paper engineers. There's like 5 in the world. You know what I mean? Like this is not, and that's just who we are. And you can't do that when you primarily employ contractors. It's just the fact of the matter. Like if you have contractors, they get hired to do a very specific thing and you need to keep them on that specific thing. When you have full-time employees, it gives you the freedom to kind of be like, hey, this is going to be uncomfortable, but we're going to pivot on a dime and do something completely different. So get on board.
That's cool. I mean, how do you kind of balance that kind of innovation and those ideas, those novelty ideas that you come up with, and kind of keep it realistic as well? Like, because like you said, like I remember you guys talking about the Trove chest, like when it came out. And you're like, God, this thing is like, we make next to nothing on this thing, and maybe you do now because you've probably figured out the kinks. But even still, like this product, but you do it anyway, and I thank you for it because it's beautiful. I love it. But like, how do you kind of balance it? Do you have any ideas that you go, nah, that's just way too crazy. We're not doing that. Like how do you do it?
Man, it's getting harder and harder to do that, for the record. Like, one of the things that Andrew Chesney, our chief operating officer, reminds us of all the time is like, okay, well, now we are a large, by board game company standards, we are a large company now. We do have, roughly 30 different employees. Some of those are contractors, some, most of those are full-time, but whatever. And he's like, we are in a position where we do need to kind of feed the beast. Like we need to make decisions that do like pay the bills for us now in a way that we didn't necessarily need to back in the day when we were mostly just paying ourselves at the top of the company because we didn't have many employees and our rent was very low because we were in a hole in the wall office. That calculus has changed. So now what we've tried to do is, and you've seen this in our product offering over the last probably 2 years in a really meaningful way, is that we are really trying to diversify our product lines, so that we're not ever putting all of our eggs in one basket. Burn Cycle was kind of our like a wake up moment for us in that we had put 2+ years into developing that game, big box. Big price tag, and for whatever reason, it just didn't set the world on fire. And it didn't sell terribly well for us after release. It got some really good reviews, some bad reviews. Like it was just kind of like in the middle ground. And we realized at that moment, like, hey, if we're going to keep doing the big crazy thing that everybody expects us to do and that we feel like we need to do to keep up the branding, we need to have some risk mitigation in place as well. And so, products like Wroth, Dragons of Etchinstone, even the Neon Night line of games with Fight 5 and Neon Rain, all of those are games we're really excited about in the kind of space that they occupy, but also they are just pure risk mitigation at some level as well, where we're like, okay, if you want to release a $225 game, there's a deep risk that like that doesn't land for whatever reason. Like, whether we didn't make it as well as we could have, or whether it's just too expensive for people or whatever, we need these other things. And so, Yeah, I don't know. We're just kind of always, like we watch our books very, very closely. We're actually a deeply conservative, fiscally speaking, company in terms of like the financial risks that we take are actually, I think we're much more risk averse than maybe a lot of people would think.
Yeah.
From the way that we budget things, but we just look for windows. We look for windows, and we try to find low cost things we can do in weird and interesting ways. I don't know. We've got a new initiative coming probably around the holidays. It's going to be promoting a game that we have coming next year that is fairly low cost, but I think it'll be a lot of fun for people, and it's got a collectible angle to it.
Oh, cool.
We also just look for like whatever. I don't know. We just try to have fun. Everything we do here is about like trying to make cool things that people enjoy and have fun doing it. We started putting googly eyes on the boxes of some of our products, like before we ship them out, with a little note that says, your game's been googlied, and because it looks hilarious, and we hope you enjoy it. And it's just on the outside of the shrink, so it's not going to damage anyone's box or anything. But it's those types of things. Like we're just we sent people swords in the mail. That was controversial.
Oh yeah. I've seen Paul Grogan's sword, because he lives half hour down. I go on his stream sometimes. Yeah, so I've held his Hoplo sword.
So we look for, and everybody was like, those swords were probably like $1,000 a piece. They were $100. Like they were not expensive.
No.
But we're constantly, whether it's on the product side or whether it's on the promotional side, we're always trying to we just have this sort of guerrilla mindset where as long as we feel comfortable with where our financial books are sitting at any given moment, we're more than willing to do the really crazy, wild thing. We just can't do it all the time the way we kind of used to in the same way. And that's just a result of growing up and also making sure that people like Andrew here maintain their employment. That's an important thing.
I'm a happily employed employment haver. We're also lucky too. It's when we do good stuff for people, I feel like we're karmically rewarded with good stuff happening to the company. Of just because when tariffs initially hit, there was a decision to be made with Wroth, right? Whereas ship it and eat the cost that could happen, or don't. And we just shipped it with the plan to eat the cost. Yeah. And then by the time it arrived, tariffs had gone down. So it's like this.
Which was still some cost, of course.
Yeah, it was still a bad cost.
But not as much as you probably thought it was going to be at the time. So who knew, right? Who knew what was going to happen? So
it's just these light bits and pieces that line up. But I don't know, the reason we were put there was we were initially planning to take a large hit to fulfill something on time to customers versus later. I don't know.
Yeah, but you're right. Fun factor. The fun word is what I get when chip theory, fun. Yeah. It's you're going to have a good time. It's going to be a good time regardless. Right. So yeah.
Cool. Once you get through the keywords.
You know what? I'm here for the keywords though. So having kind of mastered Cloudspire and Too Many Bones.
If you've mastered Cloudspire, you've mastered keywords. You're good to go.
We've had a good resurgence for Cloudspire this year, right? Because it's been a game that I purchased because I had Too Many Bones and thought, right, Cloudspire, why not? And then I played it and I thought, I loved it. And obviously, you do a fantastic solo mode experience, whole set of puzzles and things like that. So I've been playing a lot of it solo, but I always wanted to kind of get that PvP experience. But it's been a game where I just couldn't find the right people for it. Do you know what I mean? It needed the right people that are going to invest their time in to learn it and learn what the factions do and how they can combat the other ones. And now we've found a little niche of our gaming group to play Cloudspire. And I'll tell you what, we're having a blast. So I can't wait for the Harbinger new factions to arrive. Because we're just it's just crazy. We played recently a 4-player of it, and it was just absolute carnage, and it was great.
It's chaos. 4-player is pure chaos.
It's chaotic, but it was so much fun because it's just what is going on? I'm going to attack you. No, you're not. I don't know what's happening. But
that kind of goes back to our earlier conversation about how Cult of the New and Cloudspire is ostensibly a game. It's a lifestyle game almost. It's if you really want to dive into everything that game has, there's enough depth there to last you the rest of your life practically.
Yep.
And that's not the type of, I mean, again, that's not necessarily where the industry's at right now. So that game has, of all of our product lines, that game has the most passionate fans of any, you know, like we've got tons of people that love Too Many Bones and love Elder Scrolls, but the people who love Cloudspire are on another obsessed. Level. Yeah. And so it is this like hyper passionate niche who will buy anything we put out for it and who are hyper excited about it. It just doesn't sell that well to anyone other than those people. Which is so that's been a balancing act waiting to bring it back over the last couple of years. We had to have the right amount of time and a space in our product line to make sure we could finish it out, knowing that after that campaign it's probably not going to sell super well, but we can at least kind of make hay while the sun shines.
But that's the thing, like because you've been touting that for years, saying, you know, we haven't forgotten about Cloudspire, and I remember all the videos you said we still haven't forgotten, and you're true to your word, you've done it, and you didn't have to, like, do you know what I mean? You didn't have to finish it, as it were, but you did, and he went out with a good solid bang, and
it really did.
The campaign did well, right? I think.
Way better than we expected. Way better, and that's not being like, that's not false modesty. Like we were, it was huge. Yeah, it was huge, and we were very surprised by that. And you know, who knows? Maybe it will. Maybe once this new campaign delivers in a few months, maybe we'll find a brand new passionate audience that we didn't know we even had built in. I don't know.
Looking forward to the graph, that's for sure. So we'll see what happens on that. So I want to ask you a kind of a wacky question. So I can see there, Josh, on your name, you've got your Gearloc name, Ghillie, right? That's your nickname. People call you Ghillie, and other Chip Theory staff have Gearloc names. I've seen it on your support emails and things like that. I mean, Andrew, I think we had this conversation. You do not have a Gearloc name. Is this like is this a thing you have to get so many years in before you're awarded a Gearloc name? How does it work? How do you get your Gearloc name? How do you choose it? Is it chosen for you?
Well, I'll let Andrew answer why he doesn't have one first, and then I'll give the real answer to this question. Yeah.
I mean, I'm one of the last. I mean, not anymore, I think. But there still hasn't been a lot of people hired since me. I'm one of the later employees. I think most mainline Gearloc names have been accounted for within the company because we're, again, not like a small company. But when I started, I was the third Andrew.
Fourth. But you were the fourth.
Yeah, but
I'm trying to remember when you started, if Andrew Navarro was still here with us, or had he just exited? I can't remember.
I think he was like in the process of exiting. So I think
Andrew Navarro, presently with Earthborn Games, doing Earthborn Rangers. So it was a very amicable exit. In case
we go, what happened there?
Animosity in the background.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good, people.
He's a lovely guy.
He's nice. Yeah,
but when I started, there were Navarro was leaving. Andrew in our dispatch team was going by Tink, and Andrew Chesney goes by Chesney or Gasket. And I was just Andrew, Chesney, and I was just like, you can just call me Andrew. That's fine. That's my name. That one's easy. Just do that. I'm not a nickname guy, really. But now I'm Santoro. And we just hate saying the name Andrew in the office. We just like hiring Andrews is the thing.
Yes, that's definitely a thing.
but yeah.
No, the secret is that in Too Many Bones, the upcoming Too Many Bones 2, one of the Gearlocs is just named Andrew. That's the secret.
I do have a Cloudspire unit that has my last name worked into it in the upcoming stuff. So,
okay, I'll look out for that.
Keep your eyes out for that hideous thing that has my name attached to it.
The way that actually started is, I will take credit for this. The way that actually started was just when I got brought on in a formal capacity. I think I was making a hefty $150 a month for Chip Theory. This was shortly after my first Gen Con that I talked about earlier.
Makes double that now.
At least.
Exactly.
Well
Basically, there were two people in the company formally. There was Josh and Adam, and then there was Anthony was our artist, Anthony Letourneau, who's done all the art for Cloudspire and still works for us. But that was like it. That was the whole company pretty much. And Josh Carlson had been writing all the updates for all the Kickstarter campaigns. And that was like my first official task, was to take over writing Kickstarter updates and do a little bit more community management for the company, again, for the hefty sum of $150 a month. Which, Josh and Adam were not working full time. It was all just a moonlighting thing in those days.
Yeah.
We were selling like one copy of Hoplo a week, and that was enough to pay each of us, like this much money. But I think I forget if it was Josh or Adam, but somebody was concerned, like, hey, it's going to be confusing for backers if a new Josh comes in and you start signing off as Josh. They'll think that that you're the old Josh, and there'll be confusion and whatever. And I was like, okay, well, cool. I'll just take an internet handle. Basically, I was like, Too Many Bones is popular. I think Ghillie looks like the coolest character. And so I was just like, I'll just take on the name of Ghillie.
That's it.
And then from there, Josh kind of took on the name of Patches. And then that it just sort of like started trickling down across the whole company for whatever reason. And now it's not as much of a thing anymore. Like, we have a lot of new hires that haven't necessarily taken one or whatever. It's like, sometimes it feels forced, I think. Yeah. Like when you're just, it's like trying to choose your own nickname, and sometimes it works and sometimes it just doesn't.
Yeah. We always know that nicknames are better when they're given to you rather than when you try to choose one. Not necessarily ones that you want. It's just that's what you're known as.
Yeah. I chose mine and it stuck. So
well, it works.
And it was also funny because then when I started actually working on the games, I had to kind of like work backwards to reclaim Josh. Yeah. Like, because
hello, I am Josh.
It's like, right. It's like, designed by Josh Carlson, Adam Carlson, and Ghillie. Like, that doesn't work, So then it was like, oh, well, we want to give you your real name back a little bit. Now people understand the difference.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. For the longest time, I thought Ghillie had been somewhat named after you, because a lot of the same letters are in your last name.
There you go.
That is smart.
That is smart. It's not true.
I mean, not really, because it was wrong, but
that's all good. So in terms of your games then, like your games, your universes that you build for your games are really kind of, they appear like rich and layered, and you put a lot of effort into them, whether it is a burn cycle or a Cloudspire or Too Many Bones or whatever. So yeah, like how do you kind of build that lore up for a game without it completely going the other way, where all I'm doing is reading everything and getting me out of the gameplay experience? Like, I'm always intrigued how you balance that so well, like in the games, because they do appear rich. They've got backstories. You've got books of all the lore and what's going on with the characters and the world, and it's fantastic. So how do you keep it all balanced?
I mean, we start with gameplay first. That's really and so, like, anytime we add a deep story to our game, generally, most of us in the like design and development side of the company are interested in like tactical games. And so we start with the tactics, we start with the mechanics, we start with the gameplay, and then we fill in however much story we can around that. And that's why, Too Many Bones, especially the base game, doesn't tell a very compelling story on its own as a game. That's one of its criticisms. That's one of, even Elder Scrolls, a lot of people still say there's not a strong enough like narrative through line for me. But the reason for that is because we put gameplay above the story, and we find what we feel like works best in the gameplay area for any given game, and then we see how much story we can kind of infuse around that. The deeper lore stuff, when we do the lore books and when we do there's the Burn Cycle lore portfolio and all of that kind of thing. Most of that comes from the head of Ryan Howard, who is kind of our head of development here now in our studio. And also he started primarily just as a writer for us, just as a writer for us. But
sorry, Ryan.
Yeah, when we were working on Too Many Bones, I remember I had called with Josh and Adam like a weekend where we were going to put in 72 hours and we were going to finish Too Many Bones. Didn't even get anywhere close, by the way. But that was the goal going into that weekend, and I had not looked over the encounter cards at all yet. And so I was like, well, Josh was like, well, you need to we need the proof, the encounter cards. And so I was like, okay, cool. Let me have a look at them. I started reading them, and some of them were just like, yikes, like just absolutely yikes. And I was like, well, I'm not like a great proofreader. I write things in the wrong tense and all that kind of thing all the time. So I had a friend, a mutual friend, an acquaintance from kind of my college days that I knew was like the head of a local paper. And also I knew they liked board games, and that was Ryan. So I texted Ryan. I was like, hey, do you want to come do a weird thing? And he came in and started editing things and like helped us really bring those cards up to snuff. And then that led into him. We gave him the opportunity to basically pitch the storyline for Cloudspire. And we were like, okay, here's how solo could work. And so then we started having conversations around, okay, well, how can we infuse story into this?
Yeah, it's very cool.
It just kind of goes from there. And certain games allow it, certain games don't. Dragons of Etchinstone coming soon has very, very low levels of lore. Because it's a little pocket game.
Exactly.
But on the bigger stuff, on Elder Scrolls, Ryan has worked tirelessly and very, very close with I can't think of his name, Michael Zenke, who is like the head of lore over at ZeniMax in the Elder Scrolls universe. So like, and obviously that game with like quest books and that kind of thing has just way more room for that kind of thing. But we never want that to get in the way of gameplay. I mean, again, that's the short answer. We're not trying to make a Dungeons and Dragons game. We're not trying to make a TTRPG. So it all comes down to gameplay first. Yeah,
which makes sense. And if your gameplay's there, it tells its own story anyway, right? In terms of what you're doing and kind of the experience you're having. So cool. Okay, well let's kind of move on to kind of what's coming up down the pipeline then. So the newest stuff, like we've talked about a call to the new, right, Josh? So what's the call to the new that's coming? So if I don't ask you about Elder Scrolls and what's coming up, I'll get shot firstly from the gang. So let's start with the small game of Elder Scrolls. What's coming down?
Our little pocket game, so Santoro actually has Santoro's actually been like I think doing some playtesting and stuff on the new content. I've actually been largely uninvolved with any of the development of the new content. So Santoro's a better person to ask about the specifics, but I can tell you that it's 5 new expansions. Which sounds crazy, but it is 5 new expansions.
Wow.
We have Heroes of Tamriel, which is going to be new versions of every race in the game, 2 new versions of every race. Well, sorry, 1 new version of every race, but 2 new skins basically also that you can play as. So
4 new skins, up, right?
Oh yeah, front and back. Yep. So completely change the way that you can build, a Khajiit or a Nord or a Breton or a Dark Mage. You can try different racial ability than the ones that were in the base game.
Nice.
Plus some additional skill lines that are specific to that Heroes of Tamriel expansion, including a criminal skill line, which I don't think we've formally stated. Excuse me.
Is that a class? Criminal.
Or is that a class?
Yeah.
Oh, I might be wrong. Okay. Well, again, case in point. We've got 2 new regions, 2 new regions coming. So Somerset and Elsewhere, which will have their own quest book. They'll have their own clash mats that represents new biomes in Tamriel, new skill lines in those as well, new classes and items and enemies. We've got the Shadows of Oblivion expansion, which is It's a I don't even know. I've been calling it a challenge modifier, but it's not necessarily that. It's like basically you have the opportunity to take on quests from Daedric princes, and they might give you a really powerful item, but it also comes with a curse. So it does, generally speaking, I think make the game more challenging. But more than anything, we're trying to change the way you play. So you might build your character very, very differently based on these Daedric Prince quests that you're being handed at the beginning of the game.
That's cool.
To kind of make you rethink standard character building and standard challenge levels. And then there's also an expansion called Fur and Fang, which is the oft requested werewolf and vampire expansion, which will allow for you to play as a werewolf or a vampire in Elder Scrolls. And then also, I don't know, I forget if we've formally announced this yet, but I'm fine saying it. There will be an Elder Scrolls trove chest equivalent called the Guild Vault. That is also coming. Nice. And then I will also just say, in terms of like new hotness, we're putting out an update this week. We've soft launched it in our Discord already, but we're putting out an update this week that also includes a huge variety of challenge modifiers for the Elder Scrolls. So the one consistent bit of feedback we've heard, especially from really, really experienced CTG and tactical RPG players, is that they find the game to be a little bit on the easy side. And so we're releasing basically free DLC that allows you to, if you want these modifiers, can make the game almost impossible if you add enough of them. But it's basically a list of, I think, 12 modifiers, Santoro, is that right? 10, 12?
12 to 15. I don't remember.
Okay.
And you can turn on as many of them as you want. They add things like initiative to the game so that enemies aren't always going second. There's other just things that just make enemies like a little bit sturdier and harder to take down. So if you want to make the Elder Scrolls a really truly hardcore tactical experience, you can do that. That's not really what the game was designed to be in its inception, but you can turn it into that if you want.
Nice.
What did I miss, Santoro? What did I miss?
Yeah, go on. Fill in the blanks.
I mean, I would say too, like the achievement thing, like I think that's because the initial pitch was people are saying game too easy. What can we do to make game hard? And I think Shadows of Oblivion was the original pitch.
Yes.
There. And then I think I certainly said some people don't find game too easy. We should also do something for people who find game too hard. So I think the achievements are specifically for people who find game too easy. Shadows of Oblivion are for new ways to interact with the game. Like, typically, I don't remember how many are in it or what exactly any of them do. But the bit with those is that you will get a boon. And with a boon, you will get a bad thing. And you can accept one or the other, or you can accept both. So you can make it harder on yourself. You can make it easier on yourself. You can make it just a new experience. I believe is how all those are intended to function. So and they're wacky. So they're going to be closer to like, accept quest from Talking Dog sort of thing from Elder Scrolls. So goofier stuff. I mean, there's some new skill lines. I designed some skill lines in the new stuff.
Nice.
As well as some classes. I don't know how many of those I can share at all. So I deign not to say names of anything.
Talk about one. Talk about one of them.
One of them.
Exclusive.
Let's see. One of them.
Not that one.
Not that one. Well, there's one that might give you two.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Here's one that'll give you one. I'm going to be doing there's an assassination skill line.
Nice.
And that is a damage dealing skill line that is not battle form tied. So and it doesn't exactly deal damage. It involves preparing for assassinations, basically.
That sounds cool. That sounds cool.
We also, at Gen Con, we did also release a mini expansion, our Chef class expansion, which actually that class was also designed, I think, by Santoro. So
now you can become a master chef.
That's right. So that released at Gen Con in early release form, and then we'll be selling that on our website over the holidays, and it'll be available on the upcoming campaign that's coming this October. So
so lots of cool stuff.
Vampire and Werewolf, I've played with them. They're very cool.
Yeah.
They're cool stuff.
They sound really cool. Yeah, who doesn't want to be a vampire?
But they also have the fun uniqueness that you can pick them when you first start out as a starting skill. But otherwise, you can't get them at a trainer. You have to get them through a random encounter or some bad thing.
Yeah. Like, you're asleep.
Somebody bites you.
Yeah, you're asleep and you've been bit. What? And now you're a vampire. Damn it. That sounds cool. That sounds good. Yeah, no, I think that's... so that's all that in one campaign, then? Is that going to be all the different
expansions? It's all in one campaign.
Wowzers.
Yeah, yep. It's going to be a lot. It's scope creep is a thing over here. So it's grown into quite a large campaign. But the campaign should be launching. I'm pulling up my calendar here because
throw some more in. What's coming down?
But it should. The plan right now is to launch that campaign on October 14th.
Okay.
Yep.
So it will run the 14th basically through Halloween.
Yeah.
So that's perfect for spooky werewolves.
Spooky. Yeah, spooky Elder Scrolls.
We'll do some Halloween streams.
Yeah, you'll be dressed up, right?
And yeah, we'll have. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
vampire and werewolf outfits. We're putting them right on the company card.
Fake fangs.
Yes.
This is what I've always dreamed of.
We'll just whittle down the real ones. But follow page should be up for that. Hopefully by the time you're listening to this.
Yeah, we can put that in the show notes as well for those that are listening. We can link you straight to that and see if you can spot the vampires or the werewolves if they have any graphics for that. Who knows?
Just loaded with them. If you can't
I haven't seen our graphic designer's working on it right now, and I haven't seen anything, so I'm not making any promises about what it's going to look like. Yeah.
I'll make promises. If you can't see them, you're just not looking hard enough. So just keep looking.
Just they're there. No, that sounds cool. So yeah, plenty more Elder Scrolls for those who are interested in and want more. Our gang will be chomping at the bit for it, I'm sure. What else have we got down the pipeline then, guys? What's coming down?
Correct me if I miss any. So
go for it.
Okay.
Fulfilling next, Tanglewoods, which is a 20-strong expansion featuring 3 new decks: white, gold, red. Red is our new base deck, so that will be purchasable with the dice that 20 strong is known for, minus the smell that 20 strong is sometimes known for. And plus some little like ivy on them, which those new dice look really, really slick.
Okay. Yeah, they do.
Somebody who's seen them.
Yeah, they look great.
Cool.
So those should be available soon. Also through that campaign, we had the Baba Yaga expansion, which ties all 3 decks together, and you can play them as like a campaign game, basically.
That's cool.
Is pretty neat. I really like how that one ended up. And then originally designed for Barnes & Noble, couldn't hit specific window. Maybe we mentioned it pre-record, but we're mentioning it now. Tanglewoods Rose is coming out for the holidays.
Yeah.
Which is a like lane battler kind of one. It's very new. We'll run some streams on it once there's a way for anyone to do anything with this information. But
yeah, major tower defense vibes with that.
Yes.
One.
Nice. Okay.
But in a 20 strong system. So.
Yeah. That one's really neat. And I like it. One of the last things Logan Giannini did before he left to work on Star Wars Unlimited. After that, Dragons of Etchinstone? Is that right? I don't know our fulfillment timeline super great right now. So Dragons of Etchinstone coming up soon after that. And that will have Dragons of Etchinstone, which is I actually don't know how many cards it ended up being, but I believe it's around 18 cards.
Play it out of the palm of your hand. 20. Yeah, I think it ended up being 20 at the end of the day, but yeah.
That sounds right.
It's a micro pocket game. Yep.
Yeah. You literally play it out of the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
Adjust the way you hold your hand to fight stuff. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. I was very skeptical when we first pulled it on, and then I was playing it. I was like, this is very neat, and I want to have my PVC copy.
Yeah.
Coming with that is Northvale, which lets you swap out cards from the base one to make it more challenging or more weird. Cool expansion that already exists as well in a Game Crafter form. Because Dragons of Etchinstone, it was originally on the Game Crafter. And we have zhuzhed it up and made a very cool looking version of it on PVC.
These look nice.
And then fresh for that campaign was the Siege expansion, which adds tower defense, kind of. You're defending a castle from waves of monsters, or you're attacking a castle as a bad guy.
Very, very, very crunchy. It's that whole game. Yeah. That whole game line is just like massively more deep than you would ever expect a little palm game to be, and that's what we loved so much about it. It's from Joe Clipful, who was the co-designer of Gloomhaven Buttons and Bugs.
Right. Yeah.
And I found out we had a mutual friend who was a former college roommate of mine.
Oh wow!
And then it was just this weird like confluence of things that led us to Joe.
Yeah.
And then my brother had ordered a copy of Dragons of Etchinstone off the Game Crafter.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is all happening very weirdly. Like this is meant to
make this happen.
So yeah.
It does look cool. It's I'd have to try it out one day. But the crunchiness is always good. Because if it's a small game, I tend to be like, is there enough in it for me? But I think you guys are like, no, there is. There might not be many cards, but your brain will be on fire. So that's always good.
It's a great one to keep in your like luggage too. If you're just like, I go to the airport or I ride the bus a lot, like it's great. Like it really just plays out of your hand. Not me lying saying it plays out of your hand. You can actually play it out of just your hand.
Yeah.
Wroth is fresh and out right now. If you're interested in Cult of the New, that's the newest that it gets, baby. Pick that one up.
So much fun. So much fun. Love that.
That guy likes it.
Wroth released at Gen Con. We brought more copies than we thought we needed, and we were sold out by noon on Saturday.
Awesome.
So it was really flying off the shelf, which is great.
Yeah. We would have been sold out by end of day Friday, but we lost 50 copies for a day.
That's true.
No, that one was moving, and I think that one will do good. It's really good. It's a good one. If you haven't played
especially
it,
in PvP mode. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The PvP is sick.
And I'm not a big dudes on a map guy. That's not my genre at all. I tend to want to like them and then don't. But that one, I just have a blast with it. I think because of its play length, right? You're in it.
Yeah, it's so snappy.
Yeah, it's
everything
snappy.
about it is super snappy.
It's your turn before you know it. And look, if it doesn't go well, you can play again. It's literally, you're like, okay, let's have another go. See if it changes my luck this time. Yeah, it's so much fun. It's a great convention game. Where you
I did a booth play of that game at Gen Con with the guys at Dice Tower.
Oh, nice.
And I was like teaching new people as well this game, and they were like, I don't know if it's going to fit in our time. And we were done in like just under 60 minutes.
Nice. Yeah.
But then coming up on the horizon, or do we have any
holiday? The Cloudspire stuff.
Cloudspire.
Yeah. Cloudspire's coming. All the Harbinger campaign stuff, which is a lot of stuff, is all coming. Should be October fulfillment, so that should be also available by the holidays. Hopefully. That also includes 20 Strong Cloudspire.
Yeah.
So
make sure to try out your new Cloudspire stuff in the dark.
I've heard. I read that update. Yeah. Is it the what's the faction? The bat ones.
The keel.
The keel.
Yeah, the keel.
I loved it. It's like you can turn the lights off and it will glow in the dark. I mean, it adds
most useless feature ever.
Yeah.
But we'll be doing it.
I've been asking. So if you're not familiar with the Too Many Bones riddles, I've been asking JC to incorporate JC being Josh Carlson.
Yeah.
I've been asking for him to incorporate glow in the dark ink somewhere, like in a Too Many Bones box for years. For years, and he wouldn't do it. He hasn't done it, and we finally got glow in the dark something, and I'm so happy. It's so stupid, and I love it.
It's very dumb. Fight 5 is also fresh as of Gen Con, which is through Neon Night. That is war but good, but also it's I don't like that comparison because it's better than war, and I don't like saying it's a game that's better than another game, but war is bad. So
bad.
Like this one.
War is predetermined at the point that the cards are dealt. It's just a matter of resolving a predetermined because there's no choice.
Go for the motions, right?
And then holiday season, we have Cloudspire 20 strong deck. You mentioned those. Do we have anything else coming in the holiday sale? The chef pack.
The chef pack for Elder Scrolls. And then moving into next year, the only thing that we've announced for next year so far is 20 strong Awakened Realms, which is 3 new 20 strong decks set in Awakened Realms universes. So Nemesis being the headliner, and then Tainted Grail and Ether Fields are the other two.
Good choices,
we will have 3 more campaigns other than that next year, none of which we've announced formally, but we've alluded to the fact that there's a good chance the fall campaign of next year will have something to do with Daylor and the Too Many Bones universe. So
I know you keep saying the sequel, and I'm like, just when you thought you was done.
Well, we've been having we were having some conversations at Gen Con with some of our translation partners, and a lot of them are like, you're not doing a new version of Bones. Don't ever do a new version of Bones. We're not even done translating the old version of Bones to release. To be clear, we did not release Elder Scrolls to replace Too Many Bones. There's some people that feel like the mechanisms in it do kind of improve the Too Many Bones experience enough that they don't want to play Bones anymore. They'd rather play whatever. That's fine. We have no intention of replacing Too Many Bones ever. Like that's maybe someday we would do a second edition of it just to get the like art more up to the modern chip theory standard.
Yeah,
but we're talking like years from that time in the near future. Anything that we release in the Too Many Bones universe, be it a official sequel or be it just a different take, will be truly a different game. We'll aim to take some of the most beloved things about Too Many Bones, but we would want to do something very different with it, like very different and unique, because we know what some people who may even be on this podcast right now have invested
this guy
in the Too Many Bones line, and we're not about to like just go and take a giant machete to that and make everybody feel terrible. So
no, that's good to know, because you like, I love that game, and you go, oh yeah, but people might think of it as a second printing, an evolution, where you go, oh, does that mean that's redundant then? Oh. So that's really good to know that you're going to do that. Yeah, expanding the universe of Daylor, which is cool.
I was going to say the setup for Too Many Bones 2 requires you to feed your trove chest into a wood chipper.
Yeah, it's a legacy game. Yeah, we're also like, we love doing new, interesting stuff. Like, we don't want to get bored. We don't want to just rehash the same old thing. And that's actually, I mean, the reason that we kind of closed off Too Many Bones when we did, despite it selling like hotcakes still when we ran that Unbreakable campaign, was because we ourselves were just kind of getting bored with it. And we're like, okay, we've kind of done everything we want to do here. And there's going to be a point where anything else that we try is going to start feeling stale.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to go out on top, so to speak, rather than wait for it to really be.
That makes sense. Yeah. Well, there you go. Little sneaky peek of next year's semi lineup with some secrets in there, because you got to keep some secrets, right? You got to keep some stuff to reveal, otherwise it'd be boring.
We've got lots of secrets. Yeah. I will say the summer campaign for next year should be very. It's not going to be as easy on your wallet as Dragons of Etchinstone, but it's like a midweight. It's a midweight game. It's not a big crazy monstrosity.
Okay.
And then the other. So now you know about two of the campaigns: the midweight one and 20 Strong Awakened Realms. Fall possibly doing something with Bones. The other one is something in the Neon Night line that we're actually going to run a campaign ourselves for, and not just cold release like we did with Fight 5. So.
Yeah. There you go, listeners. Plenty to look forward to, which is awesome. Cool. Okay. Well, we're probably getting towards the end of the episode, guys. I could talk to you guys forever, but you've got jobs to do and homes to go to and all that kind of stuff. Anything else that you're kind of looking forward to, like before we close up, or anything you want to ask?
I would just say, this year's been challenging for the whole board game industry because of like the tariff situation and so on and so forth. But I am so excited. Like, I really feel like chip theory is hitting our stride right now. And I think once people see the Tanglewoods products come out, I think once people get Dragons of Etchinstone into their hands, once people see like how much we're adding to the Elder Scrolls to really broaden that game. I've never ever in my entire time here, and I've been here almost 10 years in some capacity now. I don't think I've ever been as excited about our like upcoming products and releases as I am right now. Like, it really feels like we're maybe finally through the hard like startup mode stuff and really just starting to like become a well-oiled machine of putting out really cool stuff at a really consistent cadence. So I'm just really excited for what's to come. I think the stuff we have coming in the next like year to year and a half is the best stuff we've done so far.
It's amazing.
And I'm not even working on most of it anymore. You know, like I worked on the games a lot in the earlier days. I hardly work on the games at all anymore. And I'm still like, yes, this is it.
So pumped for it. Yeah. Cool. How about you, Andrew?
I just have a question of whose turn is it anyway?
Well, it was yours. It was.
And now you've passed.
And now you've passed. And now you've had your turn. And it's someone else's turn at some point. But yeah, it's rarely ours. That's the thing. Well, thank you so much, guys, for joining us on the podcast and chatting things all CTG. We loved it. We love you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. That's the only advice that we've got. I think I remember, Josh, when we played Elder Scrolls in Essen a couple of years ago, and we, Andrew looked after us then. It's a common theme. And I think you came and asked us afterwards, and you said, "Oh, have you got any notes for it?" And we said, "No, it's bloody perfect. Keep doing what you're doing." so that's pretty much our advice. Yeah, it's great. So thank you so much for joining us, and all the best, guys.
Oh yeah,
thank you so much for having us. Our pleasure.
There you go. That's the end of the episode. I really enjoyed catching up with those guys. Obviously, it's a real kind of big thing for me. Meeting up with one of my favorite publishers and just talking all things chip theory. So yeah, fantastic. And thank you again, Josh and Andrew, for joining me and just talking through all the games and stuff. If you like the show, we always encourage you to share and tell people about Whose Turn Is It Anyway podcast, and get the name out there, because it really means a lot to us and makes a massive difference. If you want to support the show and keep us going, we are on Coffee, and any pennies help, really, guys. Keeps the podcast going, keeps us buying new kit and more equipment, and people like our supporters, we couldn't do what we do. So thank you again. We'll be back again on another episode, so stay tuned, and Whose Turn Is It Anyway, guys?